I realised just as I turned on the webcam that I hadn't got the right glasses on. But hello and welcome to tonight's edition of Cracking the Cryptic. It is, what day is it? Wednesday. And we're going to be having a look at this rather beautiful looking puzzle on the screen called Christmas Star by Riffclown, no less. And we've had a load of recommendations to try this overnight. And so I thought I would. It is the rarest of things now on the channel, a normal killer Sudoku. So if you enjoy killer Sudoku, and you know it's probably the first sort of variant Sudoku we all got into after we got bored of classic Sudoku, well, this should be right up your streets. It's got, I think, 3 stars out of 5 for difficulty, and I'm going to try it not in the beautiful version, but I've got another version here without the background. So I'll try it in this version and we'll see how we get on. And I'll read you the rules, which won't take long, in a moment or two's time. But apparently this is rather lovely with some great geometry. The other thing I noticed that's great about it is the number of given digits, which is 12, I think. That is very rare for me to get 12 given digits. Anyway, we'll see how we get on with this in a moment or two's time. Riffclown, of course, was, well, at least partly responsible for the Skunkworks Duality 2-pack that so many of you will have enjoyed over on Patreon last month. So it feels very fitting to have a go at a Riffclown puzzle. Now, what else did I want to mention? There were a few things. I'm going to start off with something truly weird and rather magical, which is a sonnet that we have had sent to us by Tyrgannus, no less, who has constructed a Shakespearean-style sonnet about setting Sudokus. And I read this. It only just arrived by email, and I thought, goodness, that is very, very good indeed. So I'm going to try and do it justice by reading it to you now. And this is, I don't know what it's called, but it's by Tyrgannus. A grid as such a bare potential shows, with pressure from within to clever be. Perhaps a killer cages, highs and lows, or thermal lines with roping signs to see. When gridlock of the mind to choose constraint, or bobbins ringeth out when colouring, no doubt the journey on can leave one faint, and times like these the joy lost in our thing. So why do we pursue enigma's call? What possibly could set us see in this, the agony at times of set-up's fall, yet through it all the setter finds their bliss. No feature, rule set solve, or kind word can explain the madness of a cryptic fan. That's very good. That is very good. Really like it. Tyrgannus, props to you, my friend. Thank you very much for sending it to me, and thank you to the friend of yours who recommended that you should send it to me. Now, other things going on today. I will mention GCHQ, the UK intelligence service, did indeed release their Christmas challenge today. It has been all over the news. In fact, I think Mark and I are going to be on Scottish television later to talk about it. That seemed to be in the offing anyway. Well, of course, GCHQ had alerted us to the fact their Christmas challenge was coming out, and we Mark was the lucky one. He got to solve it on video, because he got the envelope with the with the details inside. He lives closer to the PO box than I do, but I did have a go at it as well this morning, and it's lovely. I mean, GCHQ's all of their puzzle stuff is so good. They do a couple of books as well, which I've often I've received many copies of by way of Christmas present. I've also given on occasion. So anyway, do have a look at it if you haven't had a look at it. It's very approachable and very, very good. What else? We're streaming tomorrow night, more Caterdokupillar. So we'd love to have your company if you're free for that. 10 o'clock UK time. And what else? We've got a new Fog of War app out, and I've got some birthdays to read out as well. Let's do those, shall we? We'll start off with Amber. Amber, you've turned 22 today, and I know this because your best friend Seth wrote to us and told us that you both have university deadlines approaching fast. So good luck with those. But Amber, I believe that you watch the channel every day, so thank you for doing that. I hope you have a great birthday today with a large slice of heavily iced chocolate cake, of course. Next, Ezra. Ezra, you've turned 26, and I know this because your girlfriend Eve wrote to us. And Eve said that she sometimes records her solves and sends them to you. I love that. That's some sort of Sudoku love letter. He's solving Sudoku and then sending it to one's other half. That's really lovely. Anyway, Ezra, I hope you have a great birthday today, with chocolate cake, of course. And then over in Michigan, Candice, it's your birthday today. And I know this because your fiancé Nate wrote to us and told us, unfortunately, Candice, you're having to work this evening on your birthday, so you can't celebrate properly. But I do understand the two of you went to see Les Miserables last week as a birthday treat. And that must have been, that's quite something. I have seen Les Miserables, and it was really amazing. But I hope eventually when you do get home, there might be a slice of chocolate cake waiting for you. And Candice, happy birthday. And that's all the news, all the birthdays. Let's have a look at the rules of Christmas Star. Oh, yeah, okay, so is the Christmas Star the shape of the Givens? That's it, isn't it? Sorry, I'm not very good at... Is that the Christmas Star? It might be. Anyway, these are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply, which means we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Digits in a cage must sum to the number in the top left corner of the cage, so those digits there sum to 31, these digits sum to 40, etc. And presumably we can't repeat digits in a cage, but let me just check that. Digits may not repeat within a cage. So what does that mean? Well, that means that that digit there, for example, whatever that digit is, it can't go in any of those squares. So that's going to have, I can immediately see there are going to be some geometric considerations that we'll have to worry about when we're solving. Anyway, do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Right, so we're going to have to use the secret here, I think. In fact, there's an enormous amount of, well, I'll call it geometry, but rotational symmetry might be a better way of describing it. So there's a 31 cage sort of poking into the middle 3x3 box there. There's another 31 cage there. There's another 31 cage there. There's another 31 cage there. Yeah, okay, so we'll start off with that secret then. So let's talk about the secret of Sudoku, which is something I share with only my very favourite people. And if you're watching this video, of course you're one of my favourite people. So I'm going to tell you the secret of Sudoku. And it relates to the sum of the digits 1 to 9. Now, because of the rules of Sudoku, we know that any box, any 3x3 box of a Sudoku, any row, any column, any complete column of a Sudoku must contain the digits 1 to 9. So we know the sum of any row, column or box of a Sudoku, it's the sum of the digits 1 to 9, which is 45. That is the secret of Sudoku. It says so on the t-shirt. So what does that mean? Well, that is a 7-cell cage. So it's missing 2 of the 9 digits in Sudoku. And we know if this was a 9-cell cage, it would sum to 45. So the 2 digits that are missing sum to 14. And actually, I've highlighted the wrong cage there, because the cage I could see that might do something is this one. Because this cage has an 8 in it. So it's not missing 8 and 6, which is one way of making 2 different Sudoku numbers add up to 14. It is missing 5 and 9. I actually don't know what that does. Well, I mean, in box 8, it means 5 and 9 are in those squares, I suppose. That's true. Does it do any more than that? I don't know, actually. It might do. I mean, in each of these, in boxes 2, 4, 6 and 8, there is always going to be a pair of digits in the sort of extremity of that box that sums to 14, which will always be either 5, 9 or 6, 8. Is there some reason that you can't, like if this was 5, 9, is it impossible for there to be 5, 9 there? I don't think it's impossible. Especially not if the 5s and 9s are sort of kept away from the 40 cages. Okay, let's think about the 40 cages instead then. So we've got a 40 cage here, a 40 cage here, a 40 cage here, and a 40 cage here. Now all of these 40 cages are all absolutely identically shaped. So they are 7-cell cages. And we know if they were 9-cell cages, they'd add up to 45. So these cages are quite different. They're missing 2 digits that add up to 5, which means they're either missing a 1 and a 4, or they're missing a 2 and a 3. Now, hang on. Okay, this one, I want to say this is missing a 2 by Sudoku. That might be wrong. I think it's right though, isn't it? I've got a 2 there and a 2 there. Maybe I'm meant to do Sudoku to start this puzzle. Oh, sorry, am I meant to? I mean, it's so rare for me to get this many given digits. I just assume I can't do Sudoku at the start of puzzles. Let me just check. I'm sorry, I should have done this immediately. Let me just check 3s, 2s and 3s over here. 4s. So we've got several 3s, several 2s, several 4s, and 2 8s as well, and 1 7, and nothing of any other type of digit. Okay, let's come back to my thought about this 40 cage then. These 2 2s seem to take care of those cells. They can't include a 2, can they? And neither can those, because there's a 2 in the box, there's a 2 in the box. So this 40 cage doesn't have 2 in it, which means it also doesn't have 3 in it. It means 2 and 3 are in... Ooh. It means 2 and 3 in box 3 have to be in this little congregation of digits. So 3 is... Oh, that's... Okay, that's nice. So now, by Sudoku, 3 has been forced into this 40 cage. Now, what does that mean? Well, this one can't be missing 2 and 3 now, so it must be missing 1 and 4. So I can take the 4s out of those squares. 1 and 4 live in those squares in box 9. Oh, there's something here, isn't there? What is it? Oh, hang on, what's going on? There's something about these 2s and 3s. I can sort of, my spider sense is tingling, but I can't. Well, okay, this wasn't what I was trying. My subconscious is trying to scream something at me here, and I'm not spotting what it is. But I have spotted something. Because 1 and 4 live in those 4 cells of box 9, because they can't go in this 40 cage, I can't put both of them in the 15 cage, because 1 plus 4 is 5, and the other digit in the 15 cage would have to be a 10. So there must be, that digit there in the corner is a 1 or a 4. So, is it something to do with... Oh, I don't know actually. I'm still not sure. Is it something to do with... I thought what we'd found with the 2, 3 up here was going to somehow propagate round the grid. It is interesting. I mean, imagine that 1 and 4 were not in this one. Then 1 and 4 would be in this 2x2, wouldn't they? And then, in this row, this would have to be a 1-4 pair. The worrying thing about that, though, is that it looks like it might be possible. If this was a 2-3 pair, yeah, that could be a 2-3 pair. Oh, what about if that's a 1-4 pair in here? Then there'd be a 4 in there, a 4 here, a 4 in the 40 cage. I'm not sure then. Okay. Oh, I've had a different... Alright, I'm totally changing horses here. Okay. Every single... Here's a point that's probably really obvious. In fact, it doesn't work. It only works here. That's weird. Right, what I'm now going to tell you is that each of these 31 cages, because it's missing a 6-8 pair or a 5-9 pair, always includes the digits 2, 3 and 4. And that's interesting when we've got 2, 3 and 4 in the middle box ruling themselves out of these little stubby cells that are part of these 31 cages, because that means each of these rectangles must have the digits 2, 3 and 4 in them. Well, that one does, that one does, that one does. This one will only have it if that is not 2 or 3, so this is a 2-3 pair. And now... Yeah, so now I can see that if this was a 2, it would sort of mirror the effect of these 2s, wouldn't it? With 2 couldn't go in that 40 cage, so this would have to have 1 and 4 in it, but not 2 and 3. Bobbins, I don't know. Okay. Nearly. Nearly. Okay. No, that doesn't... no, that does work. Surely that works. Yes, okay. Let's think about this box, where we know that the 40 cage is missing 2 digits that sum to 5. And again, whether that's 2, 3 or 1, 4, and I don't know what it is down here, we can't put 2 of those digits in the 16 cage because they will only add up to 5 and the other digit in the 16 cage will be an 11. So this digit is 1, 2, 3 or 4. Because it's either... If it was 1, 4, it would match with this. Oh, and that would cause this to be a 1, 4 pair. If it's 2, 3, it would match with that. But it wouldn't have any corollary over here, would it? Oh dear, okay, so I don't know what that's doing. And actually, I've not even thought about some of the other slightly obvious points about the geometry here. For example, each of these digits, whatever they are, let's look at this digit. Where does that go in box 2? And the answer is we don't know, but we do know it's in one of the stubs of this. It's in a 40 cage stub, isn't it? It's in either this cell or this cell. Yeah, and this goes back to when we were doing the instructions. Let's imagine green was here just for a moment. It might be here, we don't know. But let's say it was here. Where does it then go in box 3? And the answer is going to be, it can't repeat in its cage, can't repeat in its row. It's going to be in one of those 2 squares. So it would be in one of those 2 squares, possibly in the 10 cage, possibly not. 51. All right. I'm going to change horses again. I'm being a jockey today. Let's find the biggest. Let's use this one. That's the biggest cage. So what I'm looking at now. Oh no, this isn't Fistamafel in some way, is it? Oh, I've not even thought. It could be set theory. I haven't thought about that. But let me go back to the thought I was just having. There's a 3-cell cage there that sums to 16. That seems to be the biggest of these 3-cell cages that are in the 2x2 corners. So let's have a think about that in the context of the secret. So what I mean by that is that the sum of those digits is absolutely minimally 40 for that cage, 16, that's 56, and I suppose a 1 here. That's 57, isn't it? But we know that those squares, that's the complete box 7, add to 45, and that means that the minimum sum of these two squares is 12. So there is definitely not a 1 in either of these. Or a 2. Or a 2. Oh, hang on. I didn't correct my pencil mark here. Look, I put the 2 into those 3. We knew it couldn't be here because this cage needs to have a 2 in it. I just didn't see that. Oh, right. Oh, there is definitely something going on here. So what I'm now thinking about is this digit, and in fact all of these wingnut digits, these digits right in the edges of the 40 cages. Now, because of the geometry, we know that none of these digits can be 2, 3 or 4. Some of them might be able to be 1. Let's try and find, if it was here, could we put 1 in one of those? Because in the similar situation that we had down here, if we do the same sort of shading, oh, why are those doing that? I don't know. Oh, that's probably from when I did this shading. That's 50, isn't it? Plus this digit, so 51 is 51 is the minimum. So we could definitely have a 1 in one of those, because these will obviously add up to 45 and the difference is only 6. Okay, well, let's come back down here then. So what is this digit? We know it's not 1 because of the mathematics of the sum of these two, which had to be at least 12, didn't it? It's not 2, 3 or 4, so it's at least 5. It's 5, 6, 7 or 9. It's probably a 5 or a 9 because I know there's a 5 and a 9 down here. And then that one is also quite hefty because this one, it can't be 1 again and it can't be 2, 3 or 4 again. So that's at least 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It can't be 7. Yeah, this is definitely yeah, got it. Right, well, I've got something. Okay, let me just get rid of my highlighting there. I'm going to look at that digit. Where is that digit in this box? And the answer is there. It can't go in its own column, it can't go repeat in its own cage, and it is not equal to 1, 2, 3 or 4. So it goes there. That square is 5, 6, 8 or 9. It's not 8 by Sudoku. Oh, this is Riffclown. You can't make me do Sudoku a mere 23 minutes into your puzzle. Right, and now I presumably repeat that trick with that digit, because that digit now can't go and repeat in its cage, in its row, is not equal to this digit because these are in the same cage, remember? So that digit goes there, and that's 5, 6, 7 or 9. So this digit now is 5, is possible. It's not 5 actually. It's also low. It's 1, 2, 3 or 4. Oh, this is beautiful. This is a beautiful puzzle. I'm starting to appreciate some of the ideas in it. But here is my next thought. I'm not sure this is right, but I think it's right. Yeah, sorry, let's just go back. What I said was the minimum sum of these two is a 5-6 pair, which is 11, which means in theory this could be a 5, except I've made that a 5-6 pair to achieve this. But this definitely is not 5, because there's a 5-9 pair somewhere there looking at this cell. So the maximum value of this is 4. Now, here is the thing I've noticed. I can't quite make it. Oh no, I've got it. I have got it. I had the right thought and didn't realise it was the right thought. It's the right thought because of that. Oh, that's beautiful. That is sick. Right. Okay, so here was my thought. I know that this 40 cage is missing 2 digits that sum to 5, so it's missing 1, 4 or 2, 3, and we can now see that in this 2x2, that is the 5 pair. So this is either 1, 4 or 2, 3, and that's what I saw, but what I didn't see was the corollary, which is I've got this digit in this corner as a 1 or a 4, so this can't be a 1, 4 pair, that's got to be a 2, 3 pair. So now I've got a digit, because now this cage has a 1 and a 4 in it. The 4 in it goes in one of those 2 squares, which means that is not a 4 and that is the 4. And is that our first? That's our first digit, I think. So I've got a 4. This is a 2 or a 3, so these either add up to 14 or 13. Which could be 5, 9 or 6, 7 by the looks of things. So that can't be a 6 now. Because if this was a 6, that would need to be a 7 or an 8, and it can't be either, so that's not 6. So this is 5, 7 or 9, which is the same as this one. If somehow, if we could, how do we do this then? Oh dear, I don't know. If this is 5, 9, I think that there's some reason why you can't have 5, 9 here and 5, 9 here. I don't know what that reason is. Oh, if that was true, I'd get 7, 6 there, and I'd get 3 in the corner, and that would be a Christmas 3. Oh, if that's 2, 3, does that mean that's a 3? Oh, yeah, that's true. That's a Sudoku digit. So is it something to do with where 2 goes in this cage? Yeah, well, that's certainly an important question. 2 is not here, it's not here, it's not there. So there's a 2 in one of these squares, which means that is not a 2. So I'm sort of I'm building up something along row 8. Now, I don't know actually. If this had 6 and 8 in it, because remember this has 2 digits that add to 14. If they were 6 and 8, that would be the 8. I still wouldn't know which one was the 6, but that would be an 8. There'd be an 8 over there. Oh yeah, and the other thing we've got to bear in mind is that digit is in one of those 2 squares, isn't it? I'm not sure how to do this. Is there something we can say? 5, 6, 7. I don't know. I don't know. It's really strange. And if we... Oh, look, we've got 2 and 3 here now. Oh, that's annoying. That's nearly brilliant, but it isn't quite, is it? No, it is. It is brilliant. That is important. Yes, got it. Right, so now I can apply all this logic up here again. Because whatever that digit is, and I don't have a clue what it is, well, I know it's 2 or 3, but it's obviously not the same as this digit. So that means this digit is purple, and that means that purple in box box 1 but column 3 is in the 40 cage. So this 40 cage has 2 and 3 in it, because it has 1 of 2 or 3 in it, which means it doesn't have 1 or 4 in it, so 1 and 4 live in the 2x2s in the corner, and the 4 is in the 12 cage now. Yeah, that's lovely. I've got something from that. I might be able to get more, though. Oh, yeah, this is... Oh, no, I already know. I keep proving things I already knew. I knew this had 1 and 4 in it, and I've just proved it very, very specifically. Okay, let's come back to what I noticed over here. The 12 cage has a 4 in it, so it needs 2 more digits in it that sum to 8. But remember, 2 and 3 in this box are hypothecated to the 40 cage. Or, to put it another way, actually, is that true? That's not true, sorry. Well, this digit certainly... Oh, it is true. It is true, but I almost made a logical error there, because I assumed that because this cage couldn't contain 1 and 4, the 2 and the 3 in this cage had to be there, and that wasn't true. But it turns out to be true, because the 2 and the 3 cannot go in the wing here, and the 2 and the 3 can't go in the wing here, so the 2 and the 3 are in those squares. Now let's just see if we can tidy up the pair. That can't be definitely... There's a 2-3 pair looking at this digit. So 2 is definite... Oh, well, hang on, if that's true... Yes, so 2 is here. So this is 3. That's... Oh, no, I don't... I don't get a Christmas 3. Sorry. Okay, but that's now a 3. Oh, Riffclown. Oh, this is a 3. Which means that... Oh, I might get one. Oh, that would be the last... This would be the last chance as well, because that one is not a Christmas 3. But that does seem to be suggesting I've got a 3 here. Yeah, I've got 4 3s looking at box 3. So... Oh, Christmas 3, oh, Christmas 3, how lovely are your corners. Okay. All right, no, let's go back. Sorry, I'm jumping about a bit today, but I'm going to go back over here to my first thought, which was I've got 4 in the 12 cage. The other 2 digits sum to 8, therefore. They're either 1 7, which is what they are, 2 6, which they're not, or 3 5, which they're not, because 2 and 3 can't be in this 12 cage. So it is 4 1 7, very specifically. Actually, let's just fully pencil mark it and see what we can get rid of. Whoa, we can get rid of 7 from that one, and 4 from this one. Wow. Wow, okay, that seems to be all I can do. Oh dear, I've got all the 3s in this puzzle. They're all placed. Okay, so maybe Sudoku is what I'm missing out on. These 2 digits add up to 7, don't they? And they're not 3 and 4. So these 2 digits are either 2 and 5 or 1 and 6. Now what can we get rid of there? Or do we know there's a 2 in here? Could this be a 2? Maybe. Maybe it can. Okay, so that's not quite how to do it either. 7, oh, that's not a big deduction. 7 is in one of those squares because there's a 7 in this domino. There's a 4 in this domino, so there's a 4 in one of those squares. And yeah, so perhaps what I meant to do, I'm unsure actually. Probably what I meant to do is to try and do the geometry we've done in the wings here. Maybe here first, because this total's big. I'm unsure, but I'm going to try that in the first instance. So here we've got 55 plus that digit, so 56 is the minimum total for those 11 squares there. And that means that these two squares add up to at least 11 to bring us back down to the 45. In fact, they either add up to 11 or they add up to 14, don't they? Because if this is a 4, then we've got 59 there. So these are either 11 or 14. If they're 14, I see. I don't know whether I think that's likely or not. Oh, I see as well. Yeah, if these add up to 11, oh, it still might work. It's really interesting because these two digits, I don't know, we don't know what they are, but we know the sum of them is 11 or 14, and we know that these red digits definitely end up in the fifth. This might be it. Ah, yeah, this is it. Right. Oh, this puzzle's really subtle. It's got some lovely ideas flowing through it, and I'm sort of picking up on them, but in a really strange order. So here is my next thought. In fact, it's more powerful here because of the shape of the cage than it is up there, I'm noticing. Because what I'm noticing, let's come back down here where I've actually got this 2 now. So I know these add up to 14, and that's something I've missed. So this has to be a 5-9 pair. And this has to be a 5 or a 9, and this, oh, that's not that helpful. Because we knew there was 5s, and I'd rather this had not been a 5 or a 9, because that would have made that a 5 or a 9. Okay, but this violet digit has to be in one of those two squares now. You see, and if the violet digit was there, then we'd know this was a 5 or a 9. I don't know. Oh, I tell you what we could do. This is controversial. This is a 167 triple. That might be helpful. Yeah. Okay, so let me come back now to what I was thinking about in relation to the red digits. What I noticed about the red digits is whatever their sum is, that they end up in this 15 cage by Sudoku, because they can never go in the corner, obviously, in box 9. So whatever that cell is, it's ruled out of those, so it ends up in the 15 cage. Whatever this is, it ends up in one of those two squares. So the sum of those two digits is definitely the sum of 2 of the 3 digits in the 15 cage. And we know that the sum of the red digits is either 11 exactly, which would make this a 4, and that doesn't work now, because those two don't add up to 11, and that seems to be the only place we could put the 4 in this box. This is really clever. So I think we have just proved that these add up to 14. Is that? Well, that's gonna be very strange, though. If they add up to 14, the third digit in here is a 1. But we have to use, we can't make it, there's no 5-9 pair in there, is there? So this would have to be a 6-8-1 triple, and these would have to be 6 and 8, and that is much more powerful. I mean, logically, I think that's correct, and you can see what's going to happen now is that has to be a 6 by Sudoku, that has to be an 8 by Sudoku, that 8 has to go here. This becomes a 1-6 pair. That's a 4 in the corner. this becomes 5 or 9. Oh, the corollary of all this, assuming all that was logical, is that this square is now 5, 6 or 9. Because it's one of those two digits, but I don't know which one. And oh look, where's 1 in the bottom row? It's there. So this is a 7. That's a 7 in the bottom row. My phone is no, that's fine. That's not related to anything that's urgent. 4, 6 and 8. It's amazing how much seems urgent at this time of year. That's 4, 6, 8. This is 1 something. 1, 7. So these squares are 2, 5 and 9. And we know that's not 2. And that's not 4. Okay. And that's going to be really important. Oh, look, it is beautiful. Oh, I love that digit. That's 1 or 6. So that can't be a 1, 6 pair anymore. So that's a 2, 5 pair, which shifts 2 out of this square, which makes this a 9. It makes this a 2 by Sudoku. It makes that a 5. 5 is in one of those two squares. Oh, look, it's trying hard again to be ambiguous here. Because we might therefore expect that 2 of these 3 digits, remember, add up to 14. And we got this 8, so we might say, well, that's definitely going to be 6, 8 then. No, because we've just found there's a 5 here, so it could still be 5, 9, I think. There might be a reason it can't be 5, 9, to Sudoku reason, but I don't know what that is. I don't know then. Okay, so this digit now, because this is either 5, 9, isn't it? Or it's 6, 5. That's all it can be. Because we know there's a 5 here for certain. And the other digit is the complement of either the 5 or the 8 that adds up to 14. So this digit now is... It's not 8, so it's 5, 6 or 9. It's the same as this. It's not 6. Oh, and that does it. That's... Oh no, does it do it? That might not do it still. No, it doesn't do it. It does mean this is 5 or 9. It does mean that digit goes there in this box because it doesn't repeat in the 31 cage, so it does go there. Yeah, no, it does do it. It does do it because it means that this can't be 5 or 9 because there is a 5-9 pair in the 31 cage, so there is not a 6-8 pair, and the only place the 6 can go is there. This is genius. This has just been set in it. It's genius. So these two digits, oh, that could be the same as my violet digit. Okay, but therefore 5, 7. No, this is not 4. Definitely not. Oh, 5. 5 in the column has to go here. And that's that digit, isn't it? So that's 5. That might mean this is 5, but I'm not certain about that. It means that isn't 5. This central digit's so going to be a 1. It's so going to be a 1. I don't know, that's just gut instinct. It's not for... although that is 8 in the middle row. So it is 1 or 9. No, I think it's going to be a 1. I think it's quite difficult to put. Because it feels like these 31 cages have high numbers in them. Now, this is a 7-9 pair in column 9. Now, can we do better in this column? 1, 4, 7, a snooker maximum. Let's put the options in. 1, 4, 7. There has to be a 9 in this 31 cage because it's got 5 in it. No, I'm wrong. Well, no, I'm right, I think. If this was 1, then we know that the 2 digits missing from this 31 cage must be 6 and 8. because we know it has no 8 in it. In fact, we know, yeah, so in fact that's the way to do it. It's got no 8 in it, so it must have 5 and 9 in it. And this square, therefore, needs to appear in this cage. I think if you got the right idea, if you did this in the right order, what I'll call the right order, you could blitz this puzzle. I think I've done it semi-efficiently, but I think there were efficiency gains I've missed here. I mean, but what I will say is that this is a beautiful Sudoku puzzle. Right, so 7 in this box is in one of those, so that is not 7 anymore. And let's come back over here and see if we can figure out what's going on. So we know 5 now is in one of those squares. But oh, look. 9, 5. Let's use our colouring. I did get a 1 in the middle. 5 in that column has to go here. So this has got to be a 7. 7 is therefore in one of those squares. But remember, this still has to miss 2 digits that add up to 14, and one of those digits is now 5, so this must be a 7-9 pair to allow that to be accompanied, which means, or accomplished, which means this is a 6-8. We've not put 1 in this, so this is 1, this is 4, this is 4, this is now 1 by Sudoku, that's 7. We might be able to finish this. That's 6. That 6 has to live there because it can't repeat in its box, so that 7 has to live there because it has to be 7 now, because it has to live in box 1 somewhere. This is now 9. 9 can't repeat in its own cage, so that's 9, that's 7. That's 6, that's 8. This is 5, this is 2. This is 1, 6, 8. Yep, that's a naked single. That's now a naked single. That's a naked single. That seems to be 8. That seems to be 2. We need 5 and something here. 5 and 9. We can write that in. That seems to be 6. This is 1. This is 7. 1 has to be there, doesn't it? So that's got to be 5. That's 1. That's 4. That's 4. That's 8. What a beautiful puzzle. That's lovely. That is lovely. And it's correct. I mean, it felt like it had to be correct, didn't it? It was that good, that well put together. And yeah, I'm intrigued to know. I suspect I might have been able to do something meta at the start. I think it's something to do with knowing there's 14s missing from here, and how they interact with the 40 cage having to... Yeah, I think that's what I might have missed. There might be better ways of using these wingnut digits, these 2 digits, in the excesses of the 40 cage, and working out... I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure. It's one of these occasions where the comments will be revealing of everything. They will either say, Simon, you missed X, Y, and Z, and you are a numpty. Hopefully they won't say it like that. Or they will say, no, actually it wasn't too bad, Simon. You weren't quite as much of a numpty as you suspected. I don't know. But I always enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. Riffclown, take a bow. I love that. What a rebirth for Killer Sudoku. Yeah, we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.